everyone. I have new journals for you. You might have seen them on Instagram. Um, so they are, I'm calling them my Irish summer because that's where I live and that's where I took the inspiration. They have loads of textiles and are made with using all sorts of different techniques. So there is quite a lot to show you. I will try and show you all of them, and so this video might be a little bit long. So to explain everything, I explain it on this first one. So they are about 7 centimeters thick, and they have 3 signatures and this journal wrap, this cover. They are sewn in. So this journal wrap is made with thick canvas fabric and all sorts of prints, nature prints that I made, loads of sewing and stitching, cheesecloth, then this moth, textile moth, it's made with wool, it's sewn into it. It's got a metal plate, brass plate, you can put a name in there. I wanted to name them, but I will just leave it up to you. I like it without anything as well, it's nice decorative. So loads of different fabrics. See the printing here. There is some Queen Anne's lace, some textile print, some botanical print, little eyelet here with string, that is the closure, and on the end is a ceramic button, that's a ceramic glazed ceramic button, bead, and wooden button, and then you just squeeze the journal and put it around there. And if you get the journal really fat, you can always change this string and make it longer. It's just there on a loop, very easy. So this is the first one, and then the 3 signatures are made with different fabrics, and that I printed, and also I got some from some eco-printed fabrics from a girl that makes really nice ones. I sometimes do them myself, but I really liked the way she does it because she's a professional, and so she can make much nicer fabrics than me, and these journals were gonna be all about different fabrics. So this, I printed this, I dyed the linen and printed these on jelly plate, and then I embroidered with French knot. So these are embroideries, and that's Queen Anne's lace, and then that's the back of it. I rusted this as well. This I printed, this is linen with gesso, and I printed it using my jelly plates that I my blocks that I carved, lino blocks, and this is block printing paint for textile, so you can see different autumnal bush sort of berries and things. And this is eco-printed fabric on thick linen. This is yellow. Look at that, the black print. That looks like a moon, but it's a leaf. Moon and everything is black. And The journals are A5 size, and so that's 15 centimeters by 21. And then, so here is a vintage lace made into a pocket. All the signatures are lined with hand dyed cotton fabric, and it's soft. There is cardstock inside. So I made this collage with some laces and stamping, gesso and inks, and a little label, and then sewn through it. Different tea and coffee dyed papers, plenty of spaces to write, vintage botanical pages. Then these papers I dyed with textile dyes, using different techniques and splashes, and you know, just having a play with some dyes. The colors are quite autumnal. I know I calling them my Irish summer, but this is how I wanted them to look, and I realized they are quite autumnal colors. Different paper. This is designer paper, vintage botanical prints. This is from my book of healing plants. This is a copy because my book is over 100 years old and I want to keep the original pages. They are lithographs, and so this is a copy. I made it into a pocket. Everything is tea and coffee stained. So here is the first specimen. So this is a specimen of real plant, and it's flattened in a book, dried up, and made into this card. Here is waxed paper, and here is a map, vintage map of Ireland, made into another pocket. And in this book I made a trip to countryside, and I took some pictures of this house, and I went into this house. It's a family relative, not mine, but family I know, and they live in this house. It's very old Irish house. You can use it as journal card, or you don't have to keep the photos if you don't want them, but I took some photos and I included 6. It's a series of 6, and I included them in each journal. And I just thought you might like it. It's very Irish and I like the photos. This is printed using tea, coffee, black ink, gesso, and gouache. I printed this with gouache, and this is a block print, again carved by me, moth, vintage botanical page, some ginkgo biloba leaves print. Here is another one of my hand-dyed papers, and here we have an envelope made from a botanical book and printed by me with block stamps. And you've got more printing, you've got loads of space for drawing or maybe more collaging, you know, corrugated paper, cardboard, parchment paper. There is so many textures and techniques used here. Oh, this is a journaling card. This is a real vintage page from a book that my grandfather had about fruit trees. So I made them into journaling cards. So here is another of those photos with a dog and some. It was an interesting place to see, to say the least. And so I like places like that, and I like taking photos, because in my past life I was a photographer. So maybe I should get back to it. I was a real photographer, as in really worked as a photographer and studied photography. So maybe I should try again. Here is a corrugated cardboard and a plant picture that I printed on vellum paper, and I inked it and sewn it. Here is a moth that I stamped there on a piece of paper and sewn it together with some cheesecloth. So that's the first signature. Then we have this red one. So here we have a lace dyed red and a mushroom stamp and little lace flower. Here we have a glassine bag, coffee stained, with some vintage pages of birds and eggs, and that goes there. Here is a pocket with vellum and some stamping, block printing again. These are stamps that I made. This is my design, so they are not anywhere else. The stamps that I used for this book. Dragonflies. This drawing paper is 120 GSM, so it's strong, tough paper. Here is a collage. It's quite delicate that I made on fabric and sewn it to this music page. It's a plant. It's a real plant, painted black, and this is a print here. Jelly print and some dyed cheesecloth here, and some embroidery with French knots, and the plant is sewn to this collage. It's there is a watercolor paper there, so it's there, and I put it on this page so this can protect it. This tea-dyed parchment paper, and here is another one of my another one of my artworks with moth and some gesso and coffee and black ink. Here is another specimen, another piece of the vintage map, another pocket here with green vellum that I dyed green, and here is these seed pods, and I ironed them with beeswax into the see-through paper and then lined it with coffee dyed paper and sewn around it. So that's there. Here is more of my textile dye clay. Book of healing plants, double pocket in the middle. Here is another photo. There is an umbrella there, and there is some colanders, and I think this is supposed to serve as a aerial for the radio. I don't know if the pots and colanders improve it anyway, but person who lives there seems to think so. I like interesting places like that. You don't see many of them around anymore. So beautiful book pages, this stunning. And this is supposed to be British and Irish wildlife book, and I really don't know where wallaby lives in here, because I thought they live in Australia, but here we go, wallaby. Another botanical atlas of native plants, journaling card, and another corrugated cardboard with iris on vellum paper and some crochet fabric, crochet lace there piece, and my stamp again. The corrugated cardboard is interesting texture and I like it. So here is back of the signature and here is this one. So we have jelly printed pocket here, small one. Vintage map, truly vintage map. Look at the colors. Vintage maps have the nicest, warmest colors. Another specimen is this little fern. They grow in my garden, flattened and dried. And this is vintage. This is over 100 years old piece of map here. Dublin. That is part of this collage. And this paper, my friend sent me that with a parcel with plants. And she thought I will appreciate that paper, and I do. I think it looks really, really great in this journal. So more hand-dyed paper, some natural history paper, tea-dyed, and eco prints by me this time on watercolor paper. I finished them yesterday and look how fantastic they turned out. This is the time to do it. And these are some eco-dyed pages that you can use. They also come with the journal. And this is sewn into like a page flap. I love that bright color. Vintage book page and an envelope reinforced with some paper tape. I made this envelope. The envelope was not made by me, obviously it's bought, but I printed my stamp on it and I did some painting on it with some acrylic colors, some more stamping, and you can feel these moths. They are stamped with acrylic colors and you can actually feel them. They're like embossed. And then you have these berries and some splotches. So, and here we have a room in the house. I love the light that's coming through the window and reflects there on the wall. And some jelly printed papers and parchment paper pockets, double pocket. Everything is sewn. Here is the other side of the collage. And another map. Here is another eco-dyed linen fabric. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. This fabric is so rustic as well. And last picture is this autumnal scene with some clothes that has been hanging on that line for quite a while by the looks of it. It needs another wash. The man who lives in this house had a cow as a best friend. And not long after I visited, the cow died, so that was sad. But, you know, it happens. So, here, and he also had about 20 cats. He gave me them. I said I'll let him look after them for me. And he had a dog. And the dog was really scared of people. He's not used to any people. He never sees people, except the man. So here is another one. This one is yellow. And we're gonna go faster now because I explained everything. I just need to show you how they all look in case you want one, so you know exactly what's in it. This has got different back. See, this has like a square cutout, and this has like a square in the middle there and nothing on the end. So you can see the signatures beautifully on the end, and in here you can see them mainly in the middle. Moth stitched, look at that grass print and cheesecloth and sewing. it's quite rustic and everything holds together very well. And some canvas. So here is print, textile print, and the insides of these journals, they all have the same amount of pocket and specimens and journaling cards, but different. They are all different. It's not exactly the same because most of it is my own work and I don't make two pieces the same, obviously. And who wants the same stuff as somebody else has anyway. This one has got this specimen. This is flower head, seed head that I found in Greece because despite the COVID, I managed to go to Greece. This is linen dyed, hand dyed. This is that crochet fabric, and this I stitched some simple stitching, slow stitching, some brown cheesecloth on that. I hand dyed everything. I hand dye everything, and this is a real seed head from Corfu in Greece because the COVID was sort of a bit better in Europe, and there was 15 countries that we were allowed to go to without having to be in quarantine on our return. And so I thought, well, it's now or never. Let's go, because this year is just let down, isn't it? And so we did. It was great. There wasn't many people there at all. It was beautiful. It was warm. There is hardly any COVID there. Everyone wears masks, and it was just a great idea to go. And now I'm glad that we did, because now lockdown is coming back. The number of cases every day is much higher than it was in March. Nobody is allowed to travel from one county to another, so we can't even travel between cities. So nobody is going anywhere this year anymore. People still allowed to go to work. It's not locked down like it was before in March and April, but it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad, yeah. So that's where the seed heads came from. I also found some really nice stones in the sea that I wanted to incorporate. That's the vintage piece of that really over 100-year-old map again. That I wanted to incorporate some stones into these journals, maybe into the closures, but it's very difficult if you can't drill a hole in it. Do you see that fabric, eco-printed fabric from my friend? Yeah, if you can't drill a hole in that stone or something, then that's rust, real rusting. Then you can't really attach it to it, and it was making it a bit bulky. So I just used the ceramic beads because I love them. So these journals are quite rustic and grungy at times, and they have a lot of original art in there. I tried not to use, apart from some book pages, I tried not to use any like too many designer papers, just these botanical pages, and I tried to use the printed pages for the pockets from a book that I bought in Czech Republic. So it's so you won't find it like everywhere. It's not like designer paper that you can just buy on Amazon or something. I wanted them to be quite unique and original. And they are very chunky, but you can still put a lot into them, and you can extend the closure. So now we have pink one, and yeah, I'm gonna go a little faster. I love these pages that are folded like this. It's a lovely book because it's getting dark and the light is changing. I have to put this pocket together. See, I reinforce everything so nothing will rip out, or you know, if you use it, it's well sewn in there. Everything is strong. I don't like when things are flimsy and they fall apart. So yeah, I don't know what else to tell you. I don't have any other stories. Nothing really happens. Look at that eco printed fabric, and here that beautiful map. I tried to match the papers and the maps and the book pages to the colors of the journals. So this is pinks and reds, and so I need to glue these together. Everything will be done by the time you get them. I'm gonna put them on Etsy today. Today is the 15th. Just so when you see this video, they are on Etsy. Here is 2 ferns and some protective paper, pergament paper. This one is nice. Another photo, another eco printed piece. This fabric, look at them, black, embroidered, again embroidered and rusted and dyed olive green, and here it's like light yellow. Double pocket, balance. So you can see they're all the same, but all the book pages and all the art pieces are different. I think I'm mainly showing you because this is another seed head from Greece, and some of them have the square. Some of them have the seed head and some of them have the square thing with the French knots. But all journals have the same amount of dried specimens. So this is pink, this is yellow. This journal is yellow. Look at those grasses, very subtle. This journal is yellow with cheesecloth, and this is the signatures, and yeah, so, and here look at that leaf. They all have the same amount of collages. These vintage journaling cards. See, yellows. I tried to match the pages yellows to the covers. Oh, I love this, how this came out. And some papers for you to use. And they have one ceramic bead as well here to end the one of the signature stitching, because 2 signatures have envelopes and one ended just with the strings. So I put a ceramic bead on it, which goes quite well with the one on the front. So see, this is the other specimen, this big card. So they all have something. And okay, so here is another pink one, and this one has a opening there, and this one has a beautiful fabric here with pinks and greens, and my fabric, and so chunky. And my fabric, look at the rust there, rusted, printed and embroidered. And this one has obviously the same. See, this one has a seed head. And then we have two which are a little bit different. So this one, and they don't have lining here because their artwork is on the top of this fabric. The others have the artwork sewn straight into the fabric and are lined with canvas. These have the art sewn into the canvas and sewn on this. So, and they are different. Let's put two together. So they have a moth, but they have this, instead of the book plate, they have this big safety clip there. And there is some canvas fabric on there. And you can take a little stamp and stamp a name on it, or you can take a Sharpie and write a name on it, or you can write it on a piece of paper and glue it to it, you know. It's like a little tag that you can identify the journal, put a name on it or something that I sewn onto the safety pin. And maybe just don't take it off, I don't know if you will get it back. And they've got this crochet fabric and these flowers, and the fabric is rusted all over, and there are these flowers embroidered into it and sewn on a machine. So it's different. And the back, look at the rusting there, the coloring of the fabric, patterns and cheesecloth, and this crochet eyelet and the closure again. And inside is the same, but these have two signatures that are eco-printed and one signature that is made with printed, jelly printed and embroidered Queen Anne's lace. See this beautiful orange and dark brown. So this is one. So this is this eco printed, this, that jelly printed and embroidered with French notes, beautiful and rusted, and another eco print. And the inside is the same, all the same pages and papers and specimens like the other journals, no difference there. And show you, maybe show you the, I don't want to be wasting time here because I don't edit. Here is another seed head, tiny small seed head, artwork, textile, and so that. And I love how this bead, rusty orange bead, goes with the rust on the cover. See, so cute, so grungy. And then this one, this is like a turquoise green, goes with the sewing on the moth. And look, that is like a washer. And look how that rust or the water, it wasn't made this pattern here naturally. And then all sorts of textures, inking, yeah, I did a lot of inking and dyeing and rusting and printing. And then let's show you the signature covers. Oh, look at these leaves, how they are hanging down there beautifully. And the rust here, and the Queen Anne's lace stalks and heads, and embroidery, and more rusting, and it's like a meadow. And here we have this orange fabric with dark brown leaves, and it's got, this one is like that, and this one is like that. So these I'll show you. If you like the yellows, one yellow is like that, and the other yellow is like that. If you like the reds, we have one like that and one like that. It's all the same, it just looks different. And this green, we have the green like this. I love how you can see the signatures. And these other ones, the ones that are a little bit different, there is choice of 2 as well. So they are on my Etsy, and don't forget to subscribe if you like my art. I don't post very often, so I won't clog your feed with videos all the time. And I'm also on Instagram, where you can follow my work at Fat Pickle Studio. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you don't go insane, because the world is getting more insane than ever. And good luck with everything, and stay healthy. Bye.